Damn it. Damn it. Damn it. Did that the wrong way around. I didn't mean to do it like that. I meant to give you a little song. It's been a long... Let's move the mic a bit closer. I don't know. Is that even functioning? I don't know. I didn't mean to start it like that. Let me just check this thing here. Let me check these settings. Okay. Oh, 1 2 1 2 1 2. Oh, that's why I'm not hearing myself. Okay. 1 2. Okay, I didn't mean to start it like that. We're gonna have to redo it. We're gonna have to do this damn thing properly. Start it again. Take 2. You never close your eyes anymore when I kiss your lips. Yes. It's Raphael Dawkins with the Combat Radio. And we are live. Okay. Let's get that set up. Let's get the setup set up. Might be a lively one. Okay. Right. So what we're looking at, let's get this. Let's get this thing set. Let's get the things. Yeah. Boom. Okay, that's in straight away. Tarquin has prepared a nice cognac and cigar for Sir Raphael at Chateau Dawkins, Twin Towers, for tonight's show. Well, the Rafi has come under attack. We're talking about backstage. There's been what do you call it? It's not shenanigans. There has been, well, you can see it in the title, but the subtitle should be, how do I word this diplomatically? I don't know. Can I word it, or do I simply... Okay, I know how we're gonna do this. I know how we gonna do this. Okay, well, first things first, before I do the name call, the roll call, I got to send the link out. As a matter of fact, there's something I gotta do before that. I've got to do the sound check. Let's do this. It's going to come in loud, I bet. I hope not. Check. Let's stop the music. It's going to come in loud, I bet. I hope not. Check. Actually, okay. Stop the music. Okay, so start the music. Something else I got to do. Okay. 1 2 1 2. Let's stop the music and check again. Let's go again. Okay. Yeah. 1 2 1 2. Let's stop. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool in the gang. Okay. So there's been some trouble and strife in the secret society. And that kind of leads to the title, and it leads to the subtitle. Okay, so hold on. What do I need to do? Okay. That's what I was gonna do. I need to share this shizzle. Okay, trouble and strife. They're trying to come for the Rafi's neck, so let me just send them the link. Let me send them the link since they're at the Rafi's neck. They want to take a nibble or a slice or a bite. Let's Let's do the shiznix. Hold on, where's that? Is that where I need to be? Yeah. I'm exactly where I need to be. Okay, let me post up the link. Anybody who wants to come for the Rafi's neck, let me give you the link. Give me the light. Okay, I'm posting the link in the affected area, causing mass hysteria in your area. Okay, let me copy that so I can do it a couple more time. Yeah, it's there. Okay. Oh, I found the affected area. Okay. Boom. All right. Okay. So that's posted out. The vampires want to. Yeah, they want to suck Rafi's blood. They want to suck on Rafi's blood. So come with it. So what else do I need to do? What do I need to do? What's this here? Dolomite. Kid Dolomite is up in the area. What's happening, Dolomite? What else do I need to do? Real quick, like, real smooth, like. Okay, let's drop this on Twitter. Real smooth, like. Let me tweet this. Okay, what's gonna happen? Is that gonna come up good? Come on, work with me. Play video. Thank you. Boom, tweet that. And what about Facebook? Do we do Facebook? We're gonna do Facebook. Yeah, let's do it all. Okay. Rafi's sipping on a shandy. If you wonder, play video. Oh, let's give it a punch. Let's give it a glove emoji. Okay. Copy. Post that. And let's share it. Let's do it all. Let's do it right. Share it there. Boom. And where else? Where else are we going to share it? Oh, boom. Okay. Close that down. Now we're good. Now we're in good shape. Okay. Right. So let's get into this. Okay. So first of all, hello and welcome, one and all. Okay. So here is, where is it? Let me read that. Okay. So here we go. This is the contentious message or text that was left by a content creator. Okay. So the hypocrisy from Joshua fanboys when they were happy to hear that Alexander Usyk agreed to step aside and allow the undisputed fight between Fury and Joshua to take place. Their core argument is it's all about Undisputed. Given the situation has shifted dramatically, they don't want Joshua to step aside to allow Usyk to fight Fury for Undisputed. This double standard is one of the reasons I am sick and tired of the YTBC. Shake my head. Is there a way I could copy and paste that? Oh, I might be able to. Hold on. Dang. I might have super skills. I might have superpowers. I didn't know I could do that. Hold on. Okay, so how do I post that without making it look like it's coming from me? Okay, so can I put it on the screen? No, I can't. Okay, let me do it this way. Okay, so this is this I'm gonna post it in the chat from a disgruntled should I say upset? From an upset's the right word. From an upset uploader. Uploader. Okay. Let's have a little. Okay. So let me post that. Okay. So you see it there. Peace, Rafi. This isn't the one. Peace, Rafi, swinging by to hit the thumbs up and answer. And the answer is yes. They have been doing it with Wilder forever. Ortiz is the most dangerous, most ducked heavyweight. And now Fury is one of the greatest that's ever walked the earth. Didn't like that ring. Okay. So thank you. Yes. Thanks for coming through. Okay. So let me post this up. Can it all fit in? Can it all fit in? Let me make sure I drop the link. So the uploaders who are coming from my neck, they can come direct. My neck is here. Come direct. Okay. So this was the article that started the back and forth. Okay. From an upset uploader. The hypocrisy from Joshua fanboys when they were happy to hear that Alexander Usyk agreed to step aside and allow the undisputed fight between Fury and Joshua to take place. Their core argument is it's all about Undisputed. Where's the rest? Okay, is it scrolling? Is it a scrolling thing? Undisputed. Okay, so I'll have to do it in two parts. Okay. I'll do it in two parts. Undisputed. All about Undisputed. What does it sound? Okay. Okay. So let's copy the second part. Second half. Copy. And let's paste this. Given the situation has shifted dramatically, they don't want Joshua to step aside to allow Usyk to fight Fury. This double standard is one of the reasons I am sick and tired of the YouTube boxing community. Shake my head. This isn't from me. This is from the fella. I'll let him introduce himself if he comes over and explains his position. But we're going to have to talk about this shiznix. I've been talking about it backstage. They're trying to come at me, trying to call Rafi a liar. I said, hey, if I'm a liar, bring the receipts. I still can't get no receipts. Bring the receipts. They're trying to say that Rafi was advocating that Wilder step aside. But they are liars. I never advocated that Wilder step aside. They were going through Undisputed. I thought that Wilder would fail. Wilder would lose the case, but he won the case. Fair play to him. On reflection, he deserved to win the case. If he had a contract, then I said at the time, if he's got a contract, then the contract should be honored. But I never said Wilder should step aside. I just thought he wouldn't win the case. but he won the case. So please don't lie on the Rafi's name. Don't do that. Don't do that. AJ had the well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. What they're saying is forget about the rematch clause. They're saying forget about the rematch clause. Joshua should step aside. Forget about the rematch clause. And they're saying there's parity between Usyk's situation when the WO were trying to make the ruling about who he's going to fight. Is it Joshua or is it Joyce? They went with Joyce. They went with Joyce. So the key question is, to me, did Usyk even step aside? I've asked them to show me receipts. I've asked for receipts of when Usyk stepped aside, and I couldn't get no receipts. But whoa, latterly I received an article. Beeb, thank you. Beeb sent me an article. Thank you, Beeb, which I shall read. It's supposed to blow my argument out of the water. It's supposed to blow my argument out of the water, but I don't see how my argument can be blown out of the water when I never said that Fury should when I never said that Wilder should step aside at any point. They were going through arbitration. I thought he would lose the arbitration and there would be a clear path for Undisputed. As it turns out, he won the arbitration. And my position then was that, hey, if he won it, that means he was contractually obliged to have it. So they should fulfill it. If he won it, he deserved to win it. They're not going to give him any cookies or Smarties for nothing. For nothing. Okay. Oh, my bad. Kent S. says, comes through as the first sponsor of the show by hitting that super chat button. Becomes the first sponsor of tonight's show. Bless up, Rafi. They're trying to make Wilder seem better than he is. Best of era should fight all comers. One title defense and 2 big wins is quite simply not enough. I totally echo and share those sentiments. Let's have a look. I thought that the deadline for the third fight was missed. Therefore, Wilder had to go to court for arbitration. Yeah. We all thought the arbitration. We all thought the deadline was missed. We all thought the deadline was missed so that Deontay Wilder's case was spurious and not legitimate. That's what we thought. That's what they told us. That's what Bob Arum, the snake, the reptilian that he is, that's what he informed us. Yeah, it's been past the deadline. So we thought they passed the deadline, and we thought that Deontay Wilder's claim was dead in the water. But it turned out that he got through. He won. So we said fair play. We said fair play to him. We said fair play to Deontay Wilder. If it was contractual, clearly it was contractual. He deserved it. He's owned it. So boom, let him get it. Let him get it. Let him get it. That's what we thought. That's what I thought. Those are the sentiments expressed. But it's being said that Rafi was advocating that Wilder step aside. Damn liars. Damn liars. Damn liars. Okay, so that's the thrust of it. That's the thrust of it. I'll read it again. From an upset uploader. Okay, not going to name him. It's up to him. If he wants to come and talk about it, it's up to him. I've dropped the link, so he's seen the link. Probably here right now. Both of you, come on through. Come on through. Let's have a cordial chat. So let me say this again so everybody knows what we're talking about. Okay, so this piece is from an upset uploader. I'm not going to name him. It's up to him. Name himself. Okay. And he writes, the hypocrisy from Joshua fanboys when they were happy to hear that Alexander Usyk agreed to step aside and allow the undisputed fight between Fury and Joshua. By the way, I take issue with this notion that Usyk stepped aside or agreed to step aside. Did Usyk step aside? Was the fight made and what did Usyk step aside? I don't think Usyk stepped aside. I think the WBO made some rulings, but they didn't award him the fight and then retract the fight. But we're gonna go through that. There's some paperwork somebody sent me. The Bieber sent me an article that I'm gonna read live. I haven't read it yet. It might blow my argument out the water. Hey, who knows? But we're here for the truth, not the lies. The truth. So if somebody says that I was advocating that Wilder, I was pushing for Wilder to step aside, it's kind of weird because to my thinking, I never expected Wilder to step aside. So how the hell is somebody saying that I was advocating for Wilder to step aside when I never thought he would? Never happened. Never occurred. Lies. Stop lying on the Rafi 9. Stop lying on the Rafi 9. Let me drop this in the chat, in the link. The link is in the chat yet again. Okay. So let's read this. The hypocrisy from Joshua fanboys when they were happy to hear that Alexander Usyk, is anybody trying to get in? No? Alexander Usyk agreed to step aside and allow the undisputed fight between Fury and Joshua to take place. Their core argument is that it's all about Undisputed. Now I'm going to struggle to find the second half of that. Where is it? Why am I going up? Maybe I should be going. Oh, yeah, I'm going the right direction. I'm going in the right direction. Oh, so is that the first one or the second one? Oh, this must be it. Okay. Given the situation has shifted dramatically, they don't want Joshua to step aside to allow Usyk to fight Fury. Is that even a like for like? Is that even a like for like? Okay. This double standard is one of the reasons I'm sick and tired of the YouTube boxing community. Shake my damn head. Well, that's kind of weird and bizarre to me because they don't even seem comparable. They're not all that comparable. The situations aren't all that comparable. They ain't all that comparable. One was a champion. Well, first of all, I don't know that Usyk stepped aside. That's one. Secondly, one was a champion who lost his belt and had a contract for a rematch. The other guy was a guy who the WBO said, yeah, you will be fighting the champion at some point. They didn't set no dates, as far as I'm aware. They didn't set no dates. It was just, yeah, you might be up next. You might be up next. But then when the Undisputed talk, Undisputed trumps mandatory. Okay, so the Undisputed talk comes up. And I say, hold on. No. Don't push this Usyk guy on us. We're trying to go for Undisputed. I said, okay, we'll give you some time to make the Undisputed fight. Was it 30 days or something? Gave him a little bit of time to make the Undisputed fight. Got strung out by Barbarum and Fury. And then eventually, Fury says, yay, it's a go. Thank you, King Khalid. Thank you, King Khalid. Talk to you tomorrow. Much appreciated. It's all systems go. I've signed. Everything's been signed. We have Undisputed. And then the next day, news comes out that Deontay Wilder has been successful in his arbitration claim and that he would be fighting Tyson Fury next. So they led us on a merry, merry dance. Okay, good for them. Good for them. Nice trick. Nice trick. That's your latest trick. Okay, Cool and the gang. Cool and the gang. So that's how it went down. So the question is, did Usyk ever have to step aside? I don't think he even had to step aside. They gave him Joyce. They say, go fight Joyce. The winner of you, whichever one wins, boom, gets the shot. Alexander Usyk chose not to sign that contract and chose to wait. Chose to wait it out, to see the lay of the land. But did he actually step aside? And is it comparable? If he did step aside, which I don't think he did. I think they ordered him to fight Joyce. Where's the step aside there? They ordered him to fight Joyce. I said, well, we'll let you know when the undisputed fight is to take place. There was no dates. How is that a step aside? How is that a step aside? When he was ordered to fight somebody else, Joe Joyce. How's that a step aside? Okay. The mic's working. Excuse me. The mic is working properly. Okay. I'm gonna do the roll call. Then we're gonna get into your responses and your answers. The link has been posted. Okay, let's get into this. Let's get into the roll call. Do a quick roll call, then we get into your responses, then we go a fathom deeper. Okay, Cal L up in the building. Philip Carl Roberts up in the building. TK, the Shiz Biz. The Lisa Bales. Where else we at? Where else we at? Okay, we're scrolling. Kid Dolomite. I don't know why. I think Kid Dolomite sounds better. It sounds like in them cowboys in them Western films. You'd have a guy called Kid Dolomite roll up on his horse, causing mass hysteria in the area. Okay, they're using everything to minimize Wilder's loss. It's great. 1, it's a great fight. 2, Tyson Fury is the great. 3, it was a long count. 4, Tyson Fury bare knuckle back. OMG, you gotta get a bell for that. Gotta get a bell for that. OMG. Leave that up there for a couple seconds. Let that digest. Let that sink into the membrane. Let that sink into the... What's going on here? Am I doing it right? Boom. Okay, I'm doing it right. Okay. Wow, the vampires want to buy... Hey, the link has been dropped. Let me check the YouTubes. Let me pin it. Let me scroll up. Let me scroll up and pin it. Where the hell is it? Oh, yeah. Let me pin it. All right, that's pinned. So that link is pinned. Okay. Well, the vampires, they want to buy it. But I posted the link. I posted a link to the show. And I've posted the, what do you call it? Yeah, the link to the show. Don't you know? Okay. AOBZ is up in the building. Okay, so if anybody's just joined, just scroll back a little bit to find out the real topic. Wilder is the second best heavyweight right now after getting battered. Excuse me, after being battered. And the rhetoric that I'm hearing is that AJ lost badly and Fury lost badly. AJ lost to a lineal cruiserweight champion. I thought he was going to beat him, but he didn't, and he lost. That's it. He's got 6 months to prepare and come back. He lost. He didn't lose to no Punk. He lost to out of Fury and Usyk. Usyk has the far deeper experience level. Lineal at cruiser and comes up to heavyweight. And pound for pound, they're saying he's up there. Some people have told me that pound for pound, he's number 1. Number one. Public Enemy, number one. They're telling me, some people are telling me that Usyk is pound for pound number one. Number one. So, how is his victory over? In fact, he had the bigger victory. Usyk had the bigger victory. Damn, how could I forget that? Usyk beat a unified world champion. Deontay Wilder beat a guy he beat before. So you tell me, which is the bigger victory? Usyk beat the unified world champion. Fury beat a guy he beat before 19 months ago in his last fight. So you tell me, what's the bigger victory? What's the bigger victory? But now they're making it seem like Anthony Joshua some punk. What was the thing I read? Yeah, Joshua got beat badly, and Wilder got beat badly. They're trying to put the parity. They're trying to put parity on the losses. I'm sorry, going 12 rounds against Usyk, winning 4 rounds consensusly. On a consensus basis, most people say he won 4 rounds statistically. When you look at the statistics, the actual punch output, punches thrown and punches landed, statistically, Joshua won 5 rounds statistically in terms of punches landed. But I don't go by that. I accept the consensus. You won 4 rounds. Consensus, yeah, I'm cool with that. No complaints. 0 complaints. The better man on the night won. And there will be a rematch in 6 months' time. Boom. Simples. I hope he changes trainer, but hey, it's up to him. It's that simple. But they're trying to say, oh, the wins, the losses were the same. The losses were somehow of the same caliber. No, I'm sorry. The losses were not of the same caliber. One guy got outpointed and the other guy took a beating from which he may never recover. How are those two things the same? How are those two things the same? I'm afraid to say they are not. They are most certainly not the same. Stop playing that. A little bit more honesty would be nice. Wilder took a beating of the ages, and that's what made the fight great. Let's be honest. Let's cut the BS. What made the fight great is to see a man take such a hellacious beating. Yeah, it's a cruel game. It's a cruel sport. Sometimes happens. But you trying to put the two of them as the same thing? One guy getting outpointed and the other guy taking a beating, a hellacious beating of the ages. You can see people in the background there smiling. You want me to pull this up? You want to make this bigger for you? You want to make this bigger? Uh-oh. I had the wrong thing bigger. Sorry about that. Uh-oh. How do I do this? There you go. Let's go full screen, though. Uh-oh. Can I not go full screen? Is that full screen? That's full screen. Shame I can't zoom. Shame I don't have a Zoom facility. Oh, gosh. Oh, gosh. Let me get through some of these. I know I'm doing the roll call. Yeah, Iron Cog, thank you. Beast Raffy swinging by to hit the thumbs up, and answer is yes. The answer is yes. They have been doing it with Wilder forever. Ortiz is the most dangerous, most ducked heavyweight, and now Fury is one of the greatest of all times. Of all times. You know, first title defense. First time he's defended a title. My gosh, the Wildettes are bizarre and crazy. They're crazy. The Wildettes are running rampant. And I'm not talking about all Wilder fans, by the way, folks. Not talking about all Wilder fans, but some of the madness I've heard. Wilder got beat badly. Joshua got beat. Get out of here. Your man got beaten to within an inch of his life. Look at him. Man, it was inhumane. It was inhumane, even as someone who isn't the biggest Wilder fan in myself. Even I didn't want to see that. Even to me, that was too much. To me, that was too much. Even non-Wilder fans have got more compassion for Wilder than some of the Wildettes running wild. The Wildettes running wild. Wildettes running wild. Let's come and talk about it. Let's come and talk about it. Come to the front of the altar. Come to the front of the altar. You know what? Okay, I'll get into that in a second. All right. Okay, those just joining us, let me drop this again so you know what we're talking about. And I'm waiting. Come on, guys. Come on in. We'll have a cordial conversation. Come on in. We're chatting up a storm backstage. Come on in. Let's talk in front of the people. Let's have a cordial conversation. Come on in front of the people. Let's have a cordial conversation. Okay. This is the text that we're talking about. Come on in, brother. Come on in. Let's talk. Okay, so here it is. It's from, I'm not using his name. It's up to him I'm not going to reveal his name. It's up to him to come in and reveal his name and let's have the conversation. You know, I was cooking some lasagna after work. You know, I had to chop up the vegetables and what have you. It's a process. And then, you know, it's a process. So I was back and forth. I responded to this text. You see, I've copy and pasted. You see, before you hear, I responded. And then it was back and forth. It wasn't even the guy, I don't think, who responded first. It was another guy. It was my buddy Beeb. Who responded to me. Talking about, Raf's lying. Raf said that he wanted Wilder to step aside. No, I did not. I said Wilder was going through the arbitration. I thought he was going to lose it. That's what I said. I thought he was going to lose it, and Joshua and Fury would fight for Undisputed. That's what I said. I didn't say that I didn't have no campaign saying I wanted Wilder to step aside. There was never no campaign from the Rafi saying he wanted Wilder to step aside. And as far as I know, those words never left my lips because I never thought Wilder would step aside. And to be honest with you, I thought it's a bit cheeky to expect a guy who has a legitimate contract to fight to step aside. It's like you're saying the guy's some kind of punk. He's got a contract to fight and you expect him to just step aside. To me, that's like you're trying to say the guy's some kind of punk. And even though Wilder's not my favorite fighter, or one of my favorite fighters, I don't take him for no punk either. So for me to say to him, yeah, you got a contract, but you think you should step aside, what is that? That's like saying the guy's a punk. You're taking the guy for a punk. A guy with a contract for a punk. That's what kind of business is that? Taking a guy with a contract, telling a guy with a contract, you should step aside. Nah, I never did that. Don't lie on the Rafi's name. Don't do that. Okay, so the script reads, the hypocrisy, have I read this just now? Okay, the hypocrisy from Joshua fanboys, that's also disrespectful. You know what I'm saying? Not every fan's a fanboy, so that's kind of disrespectful right there. Kind of cheeky, to say the least. Okay, when they were happy to hear that Alexander Usyk agreed to step aside and allow the undisputed fight between Fury and Joshua to take place. Their core argument is it's all about Undisputed. Okay. I'll let him come in and say, don't look like he's gonna come in. I went over to his place the other day. I went over to the other guy. I've been over to the two individuals involved. I've been over to their shows. I went on their lives. Within the last 3 days, 3 or 4 days. It was no problem for me to go over there. No problem whatsoever. But now, it's the return leg. Come on over. Substantiate your statement. Speak to the people. Links in the chat. Links pinned. Come on, talk to the people. Come and talk to the people. I sense some guilt on the part of the Wildettes. They stoked the fire with rumors. Rumors of rumors. Rumors and rumors of rumors. And, okay, I see you. Hang tight. Hang tight. We're just going to get through these and then I'll be with you. I see you. Hang tight. Okay. I sense some guilt on the part of the Wildettes. They stoked the fire with rumors. Forced the go out on your shield motto and watch their guy take a severe beating. Take a severe beating. The towel could have prevented. Yeah, it was inhumane. Inhumane. Yeah, more to play the part in that too. Okay, so the second piece of the writer, the disgruntled YouTuber, whom I shall not name. It's really up to him to come in here. I dropped the link. He's seen the link. He's seen it. He knows the show's here. I'm not going to name him because it's a private chat, so I'm not going to name him. But it would be nice if he'd come and, express his point of view. Given the situation has shifted, this is what he writes. Given the situation has shifted dramatically, they don't want Joshua to step aside to allow Usyk to fight Fury. Okay, so he's saying it's comparable. It's the same situation, a similar situation. So I don't think it's the same situation at all. Joshua had a rematch contract with the guy, Usyk. He didn't have no date. He wasn't given a date. The notion was he was going to be up next. That was what the thinking was, but he wasn't up next. They made the Joyce fight. I told him to fight Joyce. Go and fight Joyce. The winner of you and Joyce will get Joshua. That's what they told him to do. Where's the step aside in that? Where's the step aside in that? Is that a step aside? There ain't no step aside. They ordered him to fight They ordered him to fight Joyce, not Joshua. They never ordered him to fight Joshua. They ordered him to fight Joyce. He opted to wait it out. That's not a step aside. Okay, given the situation has shifted dramatically, they don't want Joshua to step aside to allow Usyk to fight Fury. This double standard is one of the reasons I'm sick and tired of the YouTube boxing community. Shake my damn head. Well, I'm shaking my damn head at this thing that you wrote. Acting like Joshua having a rematch contract is the same as Usyk waiting for the WBO to order the fight. Nah, it's not the same at all. If you think it's the same, sorry. Very, very sorry. AJ always had the rematch clause. Kent S. with the super chat. Bless up Rafi. They're trying to make Wilder seem better than he is. Best of the era. Should fight all comers. One title defense and 2 big wins is quite simply not enough. Beautifully put. Beautifully put. Yeah, we all thought the deadline was missed. We all thought the deadline was missed. Well, this cat saying he's not LDBC. Cat saying he ain't LDBC, but he sound LDBC to me. Sound like the LDBC to me. Says he ain't. You beat the daylights out of him. TKO up in the building. I'm very far behind. trying to catch up. Usyk is scared of Fury. I don't think so. I got an interview from his manager lined up. So we can hear from the man himself. Don't sound like he's scared of him. He wants to get him in there. Batter him like onion rings. Wants to get him in there. Batter him like onion rings. Okay, hang tight, guys. Hang tight. I'm going to get through this thing and then get you guys on. Get your opinions on. Okay, I'm scrolling down. Highly probable. With this recurring post-fight BS from the Wilder fans, I'm done. It's over. Fury won. Big Boys Boxing up in the building. Nobody was going to step aside, and no one is going to step aside. Get used to it. 100 mother% Step aside. Try and type man for Punk. Step aside. Yeah, get out of my way. Step aside. Try and type man for Punk. Man's got a rematch. Man's got a contract with the rematch clause. He's activated the rematch clause and he should step aside. He should step aside. I'm not even sure Usyk stepped aside. That fight wasn't ordered. So where the hell's the step aside? Where's the hell the step aside? He was ordered to go fight Joyce. He opted to wait. He was ordered to fight Joyce. He opted to wait. How is that a step aside? I remember an article. Where Usyk said he wants big dollars to step aside. Didn't get a penny. Does that suggest to you that he stepped aside? Fight wasn't ordered. He was ordered to fight Joyce. He didn't step aside. He waited. It worked out. But he didn't step aside. Show me where the hell he stepped aside. Damn, there's a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff in here. AJ and Fury wanted. Okay, let's bring the guests on board. These are not the guys who I've been talking to. Well, Fight Doctor kind of chipped in a few little comments, but anyway. But these are not the guys in question. But in comes, firstly, the Fight Doctor. Shoot your shot.
Fight Doctor's in the house on Rick James status as always. Good evening.
Come with it, Fight Doctor. Shoot your shot.
So now, let me ask you this question, Rafi. Now, let's rewind a couple of months before the arbitration had concluded. Can you remind me of exactly who did you want Tyson Fury to fight? Did you want Tyson Fury to fight Deontay Wilder, or did you want Tyson Fury to fight Anthony Joshua?
I want him to fight Anthony Joshua.
Can you explain why?
Because because Anthony Joshua was the unified champ and Tyson Fury was the WBC champ, and it's a fight that's been brewing for a long time, and finally we're in a position where I felt it could happen, so I wanted to see it.
I see. Okay, so fast forward to October 2021. Where are we now?
Where are we now?
Yes.
Joshua has lost to Alexander Usyk, and Tyson Fury has beat Deontay Wilder for a second time, beat the brakes off him.
So who are the number 1 and number 2 heavyweights in the world right now?
For me, Tyson Fury number 1, Alexander Usyk number 2, Anthony Joshua number 3, Dillian White number 4, and Deontay Wilder number 5.
So does it not make sense that the number 1 and number 2 heavyweights should fight?
It makes a lot of sense that the number 1 and number 2 heavyweights should fight. It's made a lot of sense over the years. Over the last 2-3 years, we've been waiting for it to happen. It hasn't happened.
So in your mind, it makes more sense that Tyson Fury and Alexander Usyk should fight as opposed to Alexander Usyk and Anthony Joshua. Yes?
No. Anthony Joshua has a rematch contractual rematch clause which he has activated, and
Anthony Joshua is not holding any belts.
No, Anthony Joshua just lost the belts, and he wants to get his belts back. That's why he's got a rematch clause, and he has activated the rematch clause.
But my question is, what fight right now in the heavyweight division makes the most sense to happen next?
Makes the most sense to who?
To you.
To me?
Yes.
It makes the most sense that Anthony Joshua gets his rematch, that he has a contractually obliged rematch. And it makes sense just in the same way that it made sense that Deontay Wilder, when he won arbitration, just the same way that it made sense that since he won arbitration, he's the rightful guy to fight Tyson Fury. In that same way, with Anthony Joshua having the rematch clause contractually obliged, activated, in the same way that it made sense when Deontay Wilder won arbitration to fight Tyson Fury. It's the same way that it makes sense for Anthony Joshua to fight Alexander Usyk, for which he has a contract which he has activated.
So do you recall the bet that you lost concerning Tyson Fury's next opponent?
Remind me.
So your position was that Tyson Fury, his next opponent would be Anthony Joshua. My position was that Tyson Fury's next opponent would be Deontay Wilder.
Yeah.
So why did you take the position that Tyson Fury would fight Anthony Joshua?
Hold on. What did I say in the bet? Remind me.
So this is before the arbitration had concluded between Wilder and Tyson Fury. Yes?
Yeah.
And Tyson Fury was in negotiations. Team Fury was in negotiations to face Anthony Joshua. Yes?
Yes.
All right. So we had a bet as to who would fight next. If Tyson Fury would fight Anthony Joshua next, or if Tyson Fury would fight Deontay Wilder next. Now, your position...
my position was that Tyson Fury was going to fight Anthony Joshua next.
Correct.
Okay,
and
carry on.
My position was that Tyson Fury would fight Deontay Wilder next.
So basically, my position was that Wilder would lose arbitration. Your position was that he would win arbitration.
My position was that Tyson Fury would fight Deontay Wilder in his next fight. That was my position. Your position...
This was all about arbitration, around the arbitration time. Your position was that Deontay Wilder would win arbitration. My position was that Deontay Wilder would lose arbitration.
My position was that Tyson Fury would fight Deontay Wilder in his next fight. That was my position.
Because he would win, because he had won the arbitration. He was going to win the arbitration. That was your position.
My position was that Tyson Fury was going to fight Deontay Wilder in his next fight. Now, my question to you...
for that to happen, he would have to have won the arbitration. Is that not correct?
Well, I don't know. I don't know.
You do know. You do know.
No, I do not know.
For that to happen, he would have to win arbitration, sir.
I appreciate how you're trying to detract from the topic at hand here, all right? So
I'm not detracting from the topic in hand, sir. This happened, and I'm calling you sir, so if I get a little bit loud, I'm not being disrespectful. So that's why I put sir in there, just to make sure people know I'm not being disrespectful. I'm just a little bit animated right now. So the bet happened around the time of arbitration. Your bet was that he was going to win arbitration. My bet that he would not.
All right. I'm not going to debate, the minor specifics. But at the end of the day, you were looking for Tyson Fury to fight Anthony Joshua. Now, my question is why?
Because I thought that Deontay Wilder was going to lose arbitration. And therefore, Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, the path would be clear for Undisputed, and they would go on that path. That was my position.
What fight did you want to see more? Did you want to see Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury? Or did
I
you want
wanted
to
to
see
see Anthony Joshua versus Tyson Fury more.
why?
Because it's been a long time in the making, and we wanted to see that fight happen, and it was for Undisputed. There's a number of reasons. One, we want to see the fight happen anyway, and two, it was for Undisputed. 2 reasons.
So how is that any different? So why do you have a different stance today?
How is my stance today
Yeah,
is
because
not different. My stance today is not different because when Deontay Wilder won arbitration, my position was and remains, oh, well then it was contractual. So Tyson Fury, Bob Arum, they were liars. Give the man who's got the contract his due. Give him his fight.
that was not. But I'm sorry, but that was not your argument way back when. Okay,
What,
you were
as
certainly were not
soon
you certainly were not singing the praises of Deontay Wilder's contract with Tyson Fury. Your
as
argument
soon
was you
Can I interject here? Because
Yes.
there's something that's been ignored completely.
yes.
When Deontay Wilder lost in the second fight, we were on this panel together saying that for Undisputed to happen, this is what we thought would happen. Fury and Wilder would rematch. The winner of that would fight Dillian White, who we believed would be the mandatory at that point. And in the meantime, Joshua would fight Pulev and Usyk, and then we would get Undisputed. And I actually argued at that point that that would be the best outcome because beyond any question, the winner of that Undisputed fight would be the number one heavyweight without any doubt whatsoever. Unfortunately, the world was plunged into a global pandemic. Boxing got put on hold. We had some discussions in that summer about the terms of the contract that Wilder had for his rematch and how much time he had to actually have the fight, because there's always a limit on these things. We went through a force I can't say it.
Force majeure.
Yeah, we went through that. We went over it. We went through it. It actually turns out from Team Fury's side that they could have got out of that rematch because Wilder left it so long that they could have not had the rematch because he'd voided the contract because the gap between the two fights was too long. All these shows are up. So the fight docs has been incredibly disingenuous by trying to say that you've changed your position. The whole situation has been in flux. I have sat on this panel and said that as a champion who'd lost his belts, Deontay Wilder was entitled to his rematch. It still will be up there.
Yes.
These things have been discussed. And the reason at Christmas that we were talking about the Undisputed fight was because A, it had been so long, and B, there hadn't been any noises from Wilder at any point saying he was actually going to have the rematch. Tyson Fury even went out in December and said, well, I want to fight this year. No, it was before Christmas, wasn't it? I want to fight this year. Let's have a date for the rematch. And it never actually happened. Now, to be frank, it could well be in Joshua's best interests to not have this immediate rematch with Usyk. There's a strong argument for that. However, I think there's too much pressure on him and his situation for him to not trigger the rematch clause, which has happened. I don't think I've heard Rafi say that he would be against Usyk and Tyson Fury fighting if Joshua didn't trigger his rematch clause. All he's pointed out is there's a contractual obligation that Usyk has to honour, and that supersedes everything. There isn't really a lot that Usyk can do to get out of that. That's the reality. So asking very leading questions and asking for yes and no answers, and then refusing to answer questions on your own side, Fight Doctor, is slightly disingenuous, because you maintained throughout that whole time of that bet discussion that the reason that Tyson Fury was going to fight Deontay Wilder was because of the contractual obligation. You maintained that the whole time, and we've got it all on Rafi's back catalogue.
Yep.
Okay, so I have a question. Is that or is that not a fact? Is it not a fact that Tyson Fury was contractually obligated to the third fight with Deontay Wilder? Is that not a fact?
That is a fact.
So I'm not understanding.
Actually, there is some dispute as to whether that is a fact, because Team Fury, through their own admission, said they could have got out of that fight in December and chose not to. So
you're going to believe the words.
I am saying there is an element of doubt because of words that have come out of Team Fury after the arbitrator had ruled.
So on the one hand,
I think that when we're going to talk about undisputable facts, it's not as clear cut as that, and the actual truth has been hidden from the public. So I don't know. I'm not saying one way or the other, but after arbitration, there's been quite a lot that's come out from Camp Fury to say that they could have got out of the fight in December with Wilder, and they agreed to go to the arbitrator when they didn't have to.
So on
That's
the one
come
hand,
from them, not me, Fight Doctor.
Okay, so on the one hand, you have the word of a binge drinking cokehead, right? On the one hand. On the other hand,
now it's going to get convoluted. That's my prediction.
On the other hand, you have the decision made by an impartial third party in the form of the arbitrator, right? Now,
no.
What do you mean no? Yes, that's what you have. On the one hand, wait. So hold on a second, sir. We heard you. We heard you. So you have.
You haven't, because I haven't made the point.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute. So, in the case of Tyson Fury, Team Fury, you have Team Fury being led by Mr. Yesterday I Was Lying, Today I'm Telling the Truth, Bob Arum, and a binge drinking cokehead. That's what you have on the side of Team Fury. And then on the other hand, on the other side, you have the arbiter, who is a neutral third party.
Can I rebut this?
Let me finish. Let me finish.
Hold on, no, because
we heard you. I did not interrupt you, sir.
No.
Please extend me the same courtesy.
That's your point.
Please extend me the same courtesy. Right? Now I'm just going over the facts. FACKTS facts. The arbiter is a neutral third party in this. And the arbiter has the power to render a decision that's binding. So I'm not sure where you're getting these facts from that somehow Tyson Fury did not. Wait, hold on a second. Hold on. Let me finish.
Are you going to
wait. I did not interrupt you, sir. Please
hold on. Just one person at a time. Finish what you're saying, please, Fight Doctor.
So I'm not sure where you're getting these facts from, quote unquote facts, that somehow Team Fury was not contractually bound to the third fight. I mean, where does this come from?
Hold on a second. What are you talking about?
Hold on. I'm going to get the opportunity to answer this now that it's finally said the same thing 100 times. This is what I said. I said, we don't know the facts. So that's the first thing. Secondly, trying to portray this arbiter who has a history of working with Bob Arum, who Bob Arum and Tyson Fury went off to go and meet in Bob's private jet a week before the announcement. Wilder didn't go and meet him in a private jet with Shelley Finkel. To describe him as a completely unbiased, impartial arbitrator is disingenuous. On top of that, I haven't claimed to have any facts. All I have said is, it seems somewhat murky to me, and I don't know that it's a complete fact. That's what I said, Fight Doctor. So I think you need to actually go and look up what the fact is, because that is something that is proven beyond a shadow of a doubt. I haven't claimed to know anything. I've claimed the absolute reverse. I've said I'm not sure we do know.
Of course we know. Because what happened? the third fight happened. Now, that's a fact.
Okay.
Now,
Okay.
wait, hold on,
This
wait. Let me finish
this
because
is
I need to. I need to clear
no,
the air
because you'll be
and set
going
the
back
record
and
straight.
forth. You'll be going back and
Okay,
forth
but I
all
need to
night.
set the record straight, if I may, please.
Go ahead.
Now, here are the facts. The arbiter. Listen, who Bob Arum had dinner with is irrelevant. And in fact, I think you've shot yourself in the foot because a week after Bob Arum had dinner with the arbiter ruled in Deontay Wilder's favor. So
What
I'm not
makes you
quite sure
think
exactly what
what
you're
makes
getting
you
at
think that that's
because
not what Bob
that
Arum
doesn't
wants?
make any sense. But here are the facts. Arbiter ruled in favor of Deontay Wilder. The third fight happened. Those are the facts, black and white.
So what's the problem? What's the problem exactly? What's the problem there?
The problem is that the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent, all right, is not being consistent with their logic because on the one hand, you are not in favor of, on the one hand, you are in favor of Undisputed when the players were different. But now you're not in favor of Undisputed. Okay, given that your guy,
I am in favor of Undisputed.
given that your guy was removed from the equation. So
Right.
the Anthony Joshua
hold
cheerleading
on.
contingent is being disingenuous, to borrow your word. Okay.
Absolutely not. I am in favor of Undisputed. But I'm also in favor of contracts being honored. Deontay Wilder had a contract to fight a third fight with Tyson Fury. I was in favor of that contract being honored. As soon as the arbitrator said it's legal, I said, let's go. That's the fight to go. Let's go. And then the same here with Anthony Joshua having a contract to have a rematch with Alexander Usyk. That's legal. Let's go. Now, the winner of that fight should take place in March or April of next year. And what's Fury doing? Right, Fury's going to be fighting Dillian White. That should be mandated if he beats Valine. And that will be, when does that take place? That takes place 6 months from now. That takes place around the same time. So Fury's fighting at the same time as Joshua and Alexander Usyk. The winner of Alexander Usyk and Joshua, then 6 months after that, they can fight for Undisputed. But at the moment, Joshua has a contract, and he's perfectly within his right to exercise that contract, which he has done. Likewise, Deontay Wilder was proven was adjudged by the arbitrator to have a legal contract, and the same way he legally went on and had that fight. He had a legal contract, and when it was shown by the arbitrator, when the arbitrator said the contract's good, I said, well, let's go. He's owed the fight. Let's go. So I'm being 100% consistent. And Lisa Bailey says,
if that's true, if you're being...
Hold on a minute.
And Lisa Bailey says, Raphael, you don't owe any explanations. And that is true, Lisa. But I've got nothing to hide. Those are the facts. So, boom, I'm happy to say them.
No, the fact is...
Hold on a minute, Fight Doctor. You're going to have to let other people speak as well. We can't just sit here listening to you the whole time. When we discussed this bet only the other day, you said that was the fight you thought would happen, not the fight that you wanted to happen. At what stage in this discussion have you asked Rafi the fight he would prefer? Because we're talking about what we think is going to happen. You said only the other day you would have preferred the Fury-AJ fight to happen, but you believed the contract would be binding, and that's why you thought Fury would fight Wilder.
Yes.
You have not asked us which fight we would prefer. You're just more concerned with trying to prove that we're inconsistent and we don't hold true to our principles.
I just asked Rafi.
You haven't asked that question.
Well, I will answer that question. I'm happy to answer that question. Excuse me. I want it to go exactly how it's going right now. I want Joshua to get the chance to redeem himself and go on to fight for Undisputed.
But that's not the song you were singing prior to the arbiter rendering their decision. Because prior to, and that's the reason why you lost the bet, because you were betting that Tyson Fury would fight Anthony Joshua instead of Deontay Wilder. You lost that bet, sir.
Yeah,
because
I lost the
that's
bet.
because the fight that you wanted to see.
Have I not made it clear? Have I not made it clear? It was about the arbitrator. What is the arbitrator going to rule? And I thought that the arbitrator was going to rule that the contract is no, he's out of contract. That he's out of contract. That's what I thought would happen. But yeah, props to the beat.
But this is beyond just what the arbitrator ruled. In fact, you wanted to see Joshua Fury. You did not want to see the rubber match between
Joshua Fury. I wanted to see Joshua Fury. I'm not debating
exactly right. Right. So what I'm saying here is that your logic is being inconsistent because now we're in the same situation, but instead of wanting to see Fury Usyk, you want to see Usyk Joshua, which is inconsistent with your logic prior to your logic prior to the arbiter making their decision. In the Wilder Fury case.
I want the same thing that happened when the arbitrator ruled that Wilder was owed a third fight. When the arbitrator ruled that Wilder was owed a third fight, I said, okay, well, it's legal, it's legit, let's go. If you don't do that, I didn't want Wilder robbed of an opportunity that was rightfully his. It's very, very simple. But anyway,
I need to go buy a shovel.
Respect to the Beeb is come on.
I need to go buy a shovel.
Respect to the Beeb. He showed up. Come on, Beeb. Let's go. Let's go, baby.
What's going on?
Let's go, baby.
This whole thing about the arbitrator this, the arbitrator that, they knew all along that they were going to fight Wilder, and the arbitration was a smokescreen. They just wanted to string it along so they could put the fight in front of a live crowd. Like I said, it's that simple. And I was right about everything down to the T. You know, you guys, when Fury came out on that Sunday night and said that he talked to the Prince and the fight is done, what did I immediately tell you? I said he was trolling, right?
Yeah.
So we can't believe anything Fury says. And I love Tyson Fury, but nobody lies more than Tyson Fury. Now, whether I want to consider it lying or trolling or just playing around or whatever, you can't take what he says seriously. So the whole arbitration thing and the fact that Bob Arum knew the arbitrator and everything, they knew the result even before it was announced. It was just a smokescreen. It was all just a joke. Now Joshua deserves the fight with Usyk. I think that it would be better if he did step aside and just fight the winner. I think it would make more sense because then he would just have one fight and get all the belts instead of having to fight two fights to get all the belts if he were to beat Usyk in the rematch, which I think is highly unlikely. So I could be wrong, but I just think that, you know, I think Joshua actually matches up better with Fury than he does with Usyk.
I agree.
I think he would lose both fights, but I think he matches up better with Fury.
I agree. Right? I think he'd win. I think he'd beat Fury. I think it's 50-50. Well, I think actually it's 65-45. I do have Fury as the favorite.
And you know what? That's your opinion, and I respect that. But I just think if I was Joshua, I would take if he was offered step aside, I would take it as long as I was guaranteed a shot at the winner, which Bob Arum said he would be willing to do. Right? So if he can get it in the contract that he gets the winner of Fury, Usyk, then I think it would be a good move. But again, the contracts are what the contracts are. I have to be frank, John. I'll let you go in 1 second. I'm just going to finish this point. I have to be frank. I am getting sick of these rematch clauses. I could see if a fight is close, then you have a rematch. But when the fight is so one-sided, then why? Like I'm just sick of them. That's all. Now, were we lucky we got a great fight with Wilder Fury 3? Yeah, we were lucky, but you know, who's to say we wouldn't have got a great fight between Fury and Usyk? Because Usyk, I was highly entertained with Usyk Joshua. I thought Usyk, I was very happy watching that fight too. Go ahead, John.
Well, the
Well,
problem is
hold on, John. Hold on, John. I just want to
it's all
respond.
good.
I want to respond to B, because at the core, I don't disagree with what you are saying. At the core, I don't disagree with it. But here, hold on. What's going on? Hold on.
I think someone's in the background with their video on, Ralph. It's
Yeah.
not me. It's not
Yeah,
me, but
I've just muted you, Lisa, because you got some background sound. But when you get rid of the background sound, you can unmute yourself. Thank you. Okay, at the core though, I think the accusation is that I'm being inconsistent. That is at the core of this thing. You see what you said. What you said makes perfect sense. A lot of what you said makes perfect sense. But at the core is the accusation that I wanted, that the fact that I wanted to see Fury and Joshua in Undisputed, but now I want to see Joshua fulfill his contractual right to rematch Usyk. There's a suggestion that that's being inconsistent, but I say to you that is not inconsistent. When Wilder won the arbitration, my position was, he's won the arbitration, so that it's his right to have that fight. It's his right to have that fight. My position is the same with Joshua. He has a contract to rematch Usyk. So, and he should rematch Usyk. That's my position. So it's perfectly consistent. So the allegation that I have been inconsistent, I'm refuting.
Can I ask you a question?
Yeah.
What fight would you rather happen first? Joshua Usyk or Fury Usyk?
I think I want to see Joshua have the opportunity to regain his belts and then fight Fury for Undisputed. That's my position.
No, that's because you want Fury to fight Joshua instead of Usyk.
That is the fight I want to see. Joshua versus, for two reasons. One, we've been waiting for that fight in the UK for a long time. And two, it would be for Undisputed.
But can you just admit a little bit though that you are a little biased towards Joshua? Which is fine. Which is fine to do. Which is fine to do. Can you admit it?
If you're saying, do I prefer Joshua over Usyk, then yes.
But you would rather Joshua get the undisputed fight with Fury instead of Usyk because you're more of a fan of Joshua, which is fine.
Correct.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Correct.
That's fine.
Correct.
Now we're making headway here. We're making headway.
Babe, can I just ask a question? Because you started.
You can ask me 1,000 questions. I'm here to answer anything.
You started talking about step aside money for Joshua. Yeah.
Yes.
Who's supposed to pay that exactly?
Who would pay that?
Yeah.
Bob Arum would have to pay that.
How likely do you think that is?
You can question. That's highly questionable given Bob Arum's past. Yes.
Okay, good. That was the point I was trying to make when you were bringing it up.
Could someone be skeptical of it? Of course.
Well, I mean, on the basis
you've heard me talk to Bob Arum, and he's lied to me to my face.
On the basis he wouldn't pay Wilder step aside money. Why is he going to pay Joshua step aside?
Well, I'll explain to you why. Because once again, that whole thing was a ruse.
No, I think that was a ruse.
It was a ruse.
That was the point I was making to Fight Doctor, that he tried to tell me it was a fact that it was just down to the arbitrator's ruling. I think
I think you're
correct. I think the smoke screen tactic to string it out so they could take it to Vegas is correct.
You believed me from the jump when I told you that.
No, I didn't believe you, but I think you've been proven right.
Yeah, I didn't.
Well, you didn't believe me from the jump, but I would say, as time went on, you were starting to have.
To be frank, the point that I believed you was when the arbitrator ruled.
Yeah,
I'll just be honest. I thought the Undisputed fight was going to happen because I thought there was so much money on the table. Bob would be too greedy to walk away from it.
I was personally told that was the case. And I would not have been so confident if I wasn't personally told that, and the evidence did not go right along with what I was personally told. If I wasn't told that by someone close to the whole situation, then I wouldn't have said it.
Well, I mean,
Well,
that's all
but-
fine, but I mean, ultimately, it looks like you've been proven to be right anyway. And I'm happy to say I didn't believe you, and I was wrong.
I can respect that.
Okay, let's bring in the Lisa Bales. Lisa Bales, come on in. Come on down. Lisa?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I can hear you loud and clear. Lisa, how you doing? You good?
Yeah, I'm good. How's everybody?
Yeah, man. We're having a
Um,
nice conversation. Yeah.
yeah, I'm just this whole like recurring debate. It's like it just gets so tiring after a while. You
Yeah.
know, for me because everybody is entitled to like who they want to like. You know, as you know, I'm Team AJ, but at the same time, you know, I'm a boxing fan first and foremost. You know, he just happened to be my favorite heavyweight. But that doesn't mean like, yes, I would like to for him if he has a rematch clause, that's fine. If he chooses to step aside, that's fine.
Yeah.
Whatever he chooses in the long and as well as any other fighter. But what I see, this is just my opinion, and maybe I'm wrong. The WBC gave Usyk and Fury 30 days to negotiate, but then I guess Team Joshua, I don't know. I heard it as their rematch clause. So my thing is, why didn't the WBC do that before? See, this is politics, and what I'm noticing is like they don't want certain people to go for Undisputed. That's just my opinion.
Hmm.
Even with the Dylan White situation, it's just ongoing. It's politics, you know. It's not, and this is just boxing. It's nothing personal. It's just for me because I don't have any. You know, I'm not getting paid, or I'm not in that business. But I'm just going by what I see, and it could be because of Eddie Hearn or whatever, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then you got a power struggle here. You got a power struggle with the U.S. and the U.K. with the belts.
Yeah.
Now it's Ukraine. Well, it's a real power struggle here going on, and that's what I'm seeing.
Yes.
You know, as far as like this.
Yes.
So, you know, after a while, it just gets so tiring. It's like that fight is
Yeah.
over with. It's more to boxing and just talking about the same old redundant, repetitive debates. But
Yeah.
right now, that's the hot talk. But
It's
after a
hot talk.
while, all these years, these fighters marinated and all of this stuff, and look what happens. You got to strike while the iron is hot because you don't know. Them belts will change hands so quick.
Yeah.
That's boxing.
That is indeed boxing. That is indeed boxing. But you know, an interesting aspect here, Beeb, is I didn't hear anybody calling for Deontay Wilder to step aside, so that there could be Undisputed.
There was a lot of people on social media calling for Wilder to step aside. A lot of people. You know, well, you know, said it. You know, Sergio Mora
Yeah.
on the on the zone. He
Yeah.
actually
Yeah.
insulted Deontay Wilder for not stepping aside.
Uh-oh.
The tweet is there.
Uh-oh.
You know,
Wow.
there was a lot of heat for Wilder to step aside.
Were you calling for Wilder to step aside?
No, not at all.
Neither was I. Neither was I. I wasn't calling for Wilder to step aside, so why would I call for AJ to step aside?
I just said I didn't want to see the fight because I was
thing
tired of
is
the
this.
shenanigans.
The thing is
Yeah.
this, you know, no one can tell you what you want to see as a fight fan.
Mm-hmm.
It's your decision. If you like a certain fight better than another fight, what difference does that make to me? I buy them all. I'm going to watch them all anyways. But
All right.
you know, I don't know. It's not even so much Undisputed to me. I just like to see the matchups.
Yeah.
For me, I like to see a variety of matchups. Now, I don't want to hear, oh well, Tyson Fury will destroy Dillian White. I'd still think it's an intriguing fight. I still think Dillian White deserves a shot at that WBC title.
Yes.
And if Fury does not fight Usyk next, which he's not going to do because Joshua's firm, I'm going to get the rematch, which is fine. So then I would really like to see him fight Dillian White next.
Yeah.
That's
Let's go. So my point is, I was not calling for Wilder to step aside. Therefore, why would I call for Joshua to step aside? And
so you're positive. I'm going to ask you, did you want Wilder to step aside so Fury could fight Joshua? Yes or no?
Did I want what? Listen, my position ultimately is this: give a man what he is due.
Yeah.
Pay
You
a man
wanted
what
it.
he is due.
You wanted it, but you didn't want it if the arbitrator ruled in Wilder's favor.
Correct.
So
Correct.
you wanted it personally.
Yes.
But ethically
it would be wrong.
You know what? I believe you, Ralph.
That's
I
my
believe
position.
you.
I believe his logic is inconsistent. That's
my position. I mean, the shows are there.
But he did admit he has a bias a little bit towards Joshua, which is his right.
Listen, everybody's got a bias. Everybody's biased.
Which is his right as a fight fan.
Everyone is biased.
He admitted it. We're making a lot of headway here. He's admitted to things. He's admitted to things that he would never do. The Beeb pulls out the best in him. Every time the Beeb is on this panel, he pulls out the best in him.
Is that like step 2 in the 12 step? Is that what that is? Rafi has made step 2.
Hold on a minute. A long time ago, Rafi put out a program around bias, pointing out that everybody has bias.
Yes.
And we discussed that. And that's years ago.
So,
no, you can't take that credit, Beeb. I'm sorry. The show's still there.
Yeah, everybody's biased. Everybody's biased.
I always say this. I say everybody's biased, but they should try to be objective. Try, and I use the word try.
Yeah, but what's objective, Beeb? Because I mean,
what's objective? I'll tell you what's objective. I love Sugar Ray Leonard to death. My favorite fighter of all time. When I was talking to him on the phone when I was interviewing him, I had goosebumps. My hand was shaking. That's how in awe of him I was. Now, when he fought Donnie Lalonde for the 168 and 175 pound title, right? Why didn't he just? I said I didn't like that. I thought it was wrong. You know why? Because if he's going to fight Donnie Lalonde for the 168 pound title, why should Donnie Lalonde have to put his 175 pound title on line just so Sugar Ray Leonard could say he's a five division world champion? So that's being objective. In that situation, I thought Leonard was wrong. When Leonard fought Hearns, right, the second time, I thought he lost the fight. But I love him, but I thought he lost the fight. He told me he thought he lost the fight. So that's being biased, but being objective. Tyson Fury, I love him to death. But when he popped positive for the nandrolone and he told people it was because of the boar meat, I didn't believe him. Because my logic will kick in and trump my bias, right? So I can love someone to death, but I can never lie to them. When they say something that's not true, I can't co-sign with them. That's why I'm so frustrated with Wilder's team. No, like Malik Scott and Shelly Flinkle and all them. And I'm going to tie this in. I don't want to go too far off to the left here. But when they were interviewed, they would not say that they believed all those accusations because they didn't. But as a friend, like, why wouldn't you pull Wilder aside and say, hey, man, you know, this ain't right. This ain't right. You know what I mean?
So
when I'm close to somebody, I go out of my way to tell them the truth because I don't want them to do the wrong thing. And if they're doing the wrong thing, I'll do everything in my power to try to make them do the right thing. Now, I'm not going to be like, oh, well, I'll just be there. I don't want to say something that'll upset them, and then they won't let me be their friend anymore, because then that person wouldn't be a real friend. All those people around Wilder, they just wanted to latch on so they can get it paid, so they can get the money. They weren't real friends. That's all I'm saying. So that's how you can determine and distinguish bias and objectivity. You have to have some type of
right.
You can't ride with someone on everything. I may like someone as a friend, but I can't agree with everything they do.
So
Can't.
let me clear up something, because people like to label people. It's very unfortunate, but people like to label people. Now, let me make this clear. Let me put it on wax, put it on tracks. I've been a boxing fan since I was since I could talk. Since my dad would wake up early in the morning to listen to the fights, wireless on radio. Wake up early in the morning, listening to the fights, 4 a.m., 5 a.m. from over in America on radio. So that's a long, long time that I've been a boxing fan. Yeah, my earliest heroes, the likes of the Muhammad Ali, the old guys in black and white. When you see the replays in black and white, the old guys come through, straight through to Ken Norton, the Larry Holmes, come straight through now to the Mike Tysons, the Lennox Lewis, the Frank Bruno, all mostly heavyweights, but then the middleweights, the Nigel Benn, the Chris Eubank, the Michael Watsons, the second to none. Of course, my second favorite fighter of all time, marvelous Marvin Hagler.
What about Ray Leonard, Ralph?
I used to like him until he beat Hagler, and now I don't like him no more.
Oh, come on, Ralph.
Personal grudge to keep us apart. Hold me back. And then the Lennox Lewis.
I love Lennox Lewis.
One of my favorites of all time. And then so my boxing knowledge and appreciation goes back a long, long way. So for somebody to say, oh, this is Joshua, this is please give it a rest. You know, Joshua is just a heavyweight right now. You know, some of us like him.
Joshua's a heavyweight who just lost to a cruiserweight.
But
and
he ain't
not look particularly inspiring.
Fight doctor.
He ain't no Lennox Lewis. That's what I'm trying to say.
We see that. That's painfully obvious.
Can you please just relax? I'm going to go around the table in a second.
I love when Ralph tries to.
Well, you need to stop disrespecting the man.
He ain't no Lennox Lewis. He's Joshua. He ain't Lennox. He's Joshua. He ain't Lennox, and we understand that. We know that. We see the limitations. We see the flaws.
Yeah.
It's like a movie. When you see a guy with flaws, you don't just kick him to the curb. You root for him. Go on.
Wait. Hold on a second.
We see your limit. Hold on. You're gonna get your turn. We see your limitations. We know your flaws. We hope for keep our fingers crossed for you. But you know, it is what it is. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. And life goes on, my friend. Just be healthy. Be healthy and be happy. Just be healthy and be happy. That's the main thing. Healthy and happy. That's the main thing.
Once again, we see a lack of consistency in the logic of the Anthony Joshua cheerleading contingent. Now, you just said
I don't know who they are and I don't know where they are. But if
you know explanation, Dr. Fight Doctor.
So
no disrespect.
Let me finish. Now, we've just sat here and heard you, Rob, talk about how when a guy is down, you don't kick him, right?
No, I never said that. I said if he goes down, he gets back up. That's life. Hey, that's life.
Okay, so
I never said nothing about not kicking.
Well, you spent the last 5 minutes apologizing. So you spent the last 5 minutes apologizing for Anthony Joshua. Right?
I certainly did not.
Well, it sounded like an apology because I thought I heard violins playing.
Yeah, well, that must have been on your side. It
certainly sounded like an apology. But
that must have been on your side. There's no violins over here.
But that's neither here nor there. But what I find surprising is that you can have this tenor and tone towards Anthony Joshua that's very apologetic and accommodating.
I'm not apologizing for nothing.
But When it comes to Deontay Wilder, on the other hand, the tenor and tone changes radically because it's not apologetic. Okay, it's very critical, almost to the point of being unfair. So my question is,
Yeah.
if you're going to listen, if you're going to be apologetic for Anthony Joshua, then you should adopt the same tone when Deontay Wilder's concerned. But
No, I don't have the same tone. I don't have the same tone because Deontay Wilder is a disingenuous person who lies about people, who says the referee was drunk. He's trying to spike my drink.
Yeah.
No, Deontay Wilder's a different kettle of fish. Sorry.
I was just going to go down that road. I understand why Deontay Wilder gets a lot more stick than Anthony Joshua, and it's because of his personality. I mean, Anthony Joshua, after he lost, he was a gentleman. He congratulated the people that beat him, and it's hard sometimes for people to just totally disregard a fighter's personality. Like, a fighter's personality is going to have an effect on how people perceive him. If a fighter if a fighter is gracious and has a likable personality like Joshua is going to get he's going to get more slack. Just like Sugar Ray Leonard was the nice guy, he was the pretty face, whatever. He got cut a lot of slack too when he was fighting. So same thing with Manny Pacquiao. Everyone loved Manny Pacquiao. They hated Floyd Mayweather. So a lot of the perception of these fighters is based upon the energy they give out. You give out negative energy, you're going to get negative energy back a lot. Like, I will say, Deontay Wilder is showed a lot of heart, whatever. He's all man in there. There's no question about it. But you can argue and you can question. You can say that maybe he has a fragile ego, and because of that ego, that could make people think less of him because they may not like him as much because of that. So they're gonna be overly critical of Deontay Wilder because of the way he carries himself. Anthony Joshua does not carry himself like Deontay Wilder does. This is my opinion.
Let's move it along. John D. Lee.
Well, I've heard a few things about inconsistent here. I'm not sure how the Wilder fans can claim that they're consistent with their logic. And that is 100% the fight doctor. He has made all sorts of wild claims recently. He's claimed that Anthony Joshua losing to Usyk proved that Deontay Wilder was the biggest puncher in the heavyweight division. I don't really see what relevance that had to anything. He also has made a lot of Anthony Joshua's chin on the basis of the Andy Ruiz fight, which he finished on his feet, and I believe he got up 4 times. Undermined his grit, his heart, but he got up 4 times and finished the fight on his feet. And the referee stopped it because he decided that he couldn't continue. If you look at the state Deontay Wilder was in that last fight against Tyson Fury, he was in worse condition for large parts of that fight than Anthony Joshua was against Ruiz, but he was allowed to fight on. He was also given a good amount of time after one of the rounds to be inspected by the doctor instead of it happening in the break. So let's not just mess about. There's inconsistencies on both sides because people have biases towards their fighter that they support. There's no point pretending like you don't. I think on this, that I'm happy to admit I'm biased in favour of AJ. I've got reasons for it. Doesn't mean to say I think he's the best boxer of all time. He's not my favourite boxer of all time. I like him because of his attitude. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, he's got a likable personality.
Yeah, exactly.
A very likable personality.
And
you can't deny that. You can't deny that.
He also displays a work ethic. And that's one of the things I don't like about Wilder and I don't like about Fury. They have poor work ethics. They openly admit it as well. And they've also been inconsistent.
Fury trains hard, but he doesn't always live a disciplined lifestyle.
Well, Beeb, I'm not sure he does train hard, but we don't have to agree on that.
No, he does a lot of he does a lot of cardio because he does it for therapy. Because when you have depression,
I know that he puts that out there, and I'm not going to
Yeah.
have a discussion about his mental health.
yeah, but he
I
does do a
don't
lot of
think we're
cardio
gonna-
work.
We're
does do a lot of
not
cardio work.
necessarily going to agree on that. And I've seen that. I've watched quite a lot of his training as well.
Yeah.
So I don't believe he works hard personally. I've seen footage of him burning the candle at both ends, doing things that no professional sportsman should be doing.
I don't think he does the whole nine like Joshua. Like Joshua eats, sleeps, and drinks the healthy lifestyle. Fury does do a lot of cardio work and stuff like that, and he does take care of his body better than Fury does.
Well, it works. It works. It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah.
Whatever he's doing, it works. You know, he's not the body beautiful. He's got 2 knock knees, but you know, it works. But you know, my opinion is
we'll see over the long term, because
we'll
I
see long haul.
think he's cherry picked his way to his position where he is now. And
Well,
that's
I'll say this.
That's going all the way back to him ducking David Price, ducking Pulev,
I'll
pulling
say
out
this.
the Ustinov fight. He's got a long track record of picking the fights and when he's going to fight and who's going to fight.
Yeah, he's not consistent with his fights. But I will say this. You know, we could sit there and knock these guys' resumes. This guy got that resume. This guy did. But you have to understand, this is not the heavyweight division of the 90s when you had Holyfield, Bo, Lennox Lewis, Mike Tyson, you know, David Tua. We just don't. There's 3 or 4 big names, and that's it. It's not the 90s. It's not the Ali days. It's not the 70s or the 90s. So there's not a ton of marquee fighters out there at the heavyweight division.
Okay, so what does a heavyweight champion need to do to become king? I'll go with the fight doctor first.
But he's already king. He's the champion. He's the #1 heavyweight in the world. So
Who are we talking about?
we're
Usyk?
talking about Tyson. Usyk. Who?
We talking
We're talking about
Usyk?
Tyson Fury. Who is Usyk beaten?
Anthony Joshua.
Who is Anthony Joshua beaten? In order to beat a man, you have to beat the man. Anthony Joshua never beat the man.
He beat a lot of cats.
He beat a lot of. He knocked over a lot of tomato cans. If that's what you mean.
He beat a lot of top ranked guys.
He beat a lot of tomato cans.
He beat more Ring Magazine top 10 guys than Fury and Wilder put together. That's who he's beaten.
Sir, knocking over tomato cans does not make you the #1 heavyweight in the world. It doesn't. I'm sorry. My apologies.
Well, the Ring Magazine top 10. But what was my question to you? Oh yeah,
Your question was, how many tomato cans does it take to change a light bulb?
How many mushrooms does it take to change a light bulb? More pertinently,
Just one.
Oh, just one. Okay. So
Top shelf, my friend. Top shelf.
Okay, moving along. Let's go to the Lisa Bells. What does the heavyweight champion need to do to become king?
Oh, I was.
Okay, looks like Lisa Bells got real bad Wi-Fi. It's come back now. She got 4 bars. She got 4.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is different from So I was on mute, and it took me a while to get it off. What does a fighter have to do to become king of the division? You're saying
king of the division? Yeah.
They need to clear it out and be undisputed. You know, like I'm hearing, I read some articles yesterday before saying that you could put Tyson up there. They're just saying that he could be arguably discussed in the top 10 of all time, and I wholeheartedly disagree with that. I wouldn't put none of these guys in the top 10 of all time. So So you have to continue. I guess he would have to fight more people. It's not just fighting 2 people. You have to fight more. He would have to fight Dylan White, Joshua, who else? What's his name? Usyk. Maybe a Joe Joyce, Dubois. I'm just saying, you got to put more.
You got to knock off the top.
You have to put more depth in your CV. That's just my opinion. In Fight Doctor, I definitely disagree with you about who AJ is for. I mean, he hasn't fought in the 2 other top guys, but he has fought some really good.
For everybody else, all the other top guys.
I mean, listen, Joshua has some good names on his resume. I'm not going to deny the man his accomplishments. However, he has not at any point beaten the #1 heavyweight in the world. This is just a fact. He hasn't.
No, I got
so
that.
In order to so in order to be the man, he has to beat the man. That has never happened.
Yeah, he's never been lineal. Never been lineal.
No, he's never been lineal.
Never been lineal.
But some people don't care about that.
But John, I think a lot of the old school people do. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of old school people do.
Yeah.
John D. Lee.
Well, clean out the division, and I don't care about lineal. One of the best examples was when Mike Tyson was undisputed and Spinks was lineal.
Yeah.
There's been many times when the lineal championship has been perverted. If you go back into the 40s and the 30s, we didn't have these discussions because the heavyweight champion was always undisputed.
Yeah, there's only 1 belt. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good
point,
John.
There were 2 belts, but they were always fought for at the same time. There was the New York Commission.
I was about to say they had the New York one, and then they had
the
World one. That's
they were
correct.
always
the New York one came a little bit later, though. It came a little later.
Which one, sorry?
The New York one came a little bit later.
But by the time we get
the New York title goes back to the 20s.
We get to the 30s, which is when Gene Tunney retires, they both
got
on the line for Sharkey versus Mellon. And from that point on, they were always both on the line. So we always had an undisputed champion, and nobody talks about lineal because it wasn't really a requirement. We didn't need to discuss it.
And it's so hard to determine. Like, if someone retires, where does the lineage start again too?
Well, we never really had a problem with that until Klitschko, really.
Yeah, Vladimir was considered the man by default because he was just beating everybody at that particular time. He was undefeated for 10 years.
Who he beat from lineals up for dispute.
But Lennox Lewis was the only true lineal because he actually did clean out the whole division and he did hold all the belts.
Well, that's not actually how he became lineal. He became lineal by beating Shannon Briggs. Because so again, I don't know how much it really matters about lineal.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's very subjective. It's very subjective.
If you actually get into it, there's about 4 different versions of the lineal.
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you on that, John.
So lineal's irrelevant. Clean out the division, beat everybody. Pretty much what Lisa says.
Yeah.
Not only be undisputed, clean out the Mandos, the challengers, the good fighters as well.
Yeah, big boys boxing. Greetings.
How are you? Hope everyone's doing well.
Everyone's doing good. We got the Beeb here. He showed up.
How are you?
The other guy didn't show up. So Beeb got the big cojones.
Good on you, Beeb.
This is my home away from home. You know that. I'm welcome here.
You're welcome here.
This isn't like Ben Shapiro going on CNN. I'm not in hostile territory.
I know they ain't hostile over here. Some people was trying to get hostile backstage, trying to cut the referee's throat. You know what I'm saying? But the blade.
I give you a little stick, but it's no malice.
The blade snapped.
No one gives you better stick than me, but it's never malice. It's never malice.
Just a little scratch on the neck, nowhere near the jugular.
I plead the fifth.
I poke you a little bit every now and then.
The other guy didn't show up, but that's okay. We know the Beeb, he's got that cushion. He needs to sit down on the cushion. Where's the maybe the big boys boxing jumped up. Big boys, come back. Come back, big boys. Where you at? Where you at? Okay, so I'll give my oh, is he here? Let me just scroll down, make sure. No. I'll give you my version, what I think you need to do to become king of the division. You need to clean it out. It's that simple. Like everybody else has said. Everybody else apart from the fight doctor. You need to clean out the division. Certainly, you need to take care of the top boys. You need to take care of the top boys to become the top boy. You don't just beat one of the top boys and now you're the top boy. No, you need to beat all the top boys. Just get them out of there. The top 3, get them out of there. You need to beat them. And that's how you become king.
Nonsense.
Right now, Fury's the king of the WBC. Usyk's the king of the WBA, IBF, WBO. So now we want one king. We want one king. Yeah. Yes,
Can
Lisa?
I ask a question? Well, why was that so why doesn't Fury have to do it and other people have in the past? I don't get it.
Oh, excellent question, Lisa.
Riddle me that.
He's got to do it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then, Rafi, I have a question for you, if I may.
Yeah.
So Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston, yes?
Yeah. That's why.
Do you?
Two time.
When Muhammad Ali beat Sonny Liston, do you recognize him as having been the king of the division based on that win?
Based on that win, was there any other champions around?
It's a simple question.
Even born
Based on Muhammad Ali beating Sonny Liston, do you recognize? I'm sorry, Cassius Clay. Do you recognize Cassius Clay as having been the king of the division when he beat Sonny Liston?
Was there any other champions around?
That wasn't the question. Question is, when Cassius Clay beat Sonny Liston, do you recognize Cassius Clay as having been the king of the division?
Well, I would need to. I mean, I personally look at him as the king, but I would like to know if there was any other champs around.
But he hadn't cleaned out the division when he beat Sonny Liston. You realize that, yes? He hadn't cleaned out the division.
He had not cleaned out the division.
Okay.
That's an interesting.
Cassius Clay had not cleaned out the heavyweight division when he beat Sonny Liston.
Hold on a minute, though. Let's go back to what the consensus was. The first time he beat Sonny Liston, he wasn't. There were question marks over Ali. And the rematch, he was the underdog in the rematch as well.
What does any of this have to do with the price of tea in China or the fact that Cassius Clay beat Sonny? That's a fact. That's not anything I'm making up. It's a fact.
Yeah, you're talking about opinions.
Was it or was it not?
If he was the underdog in the rematch, then that suggests not.
The
WBC did not start until 1963, so there was only one champion back then.
Okay, I get you.
Okay. What are you talking about?
So my answer to
so
you.
He would have to be the champion. Yes,
he was the champion. But my answer to you, the fight doctor, is that if he was the underdog in the rematch, then perhaps he was not yet viewed as king.
There was question whether or not the first fight was a fluke.
He was not yet viewed as king.
My question to you
is, did you actually go on to clean out the division after he beat Sonny Liston?
So, but my question to both of you is this: was Cassius Clay the king of the division after beating Sonny Liston in the first fight? Yes or no?
I would say yes.
I would say yes. Well, we'll go around the table. I would say since there were question marks on the victory, and since he was the underdog going into the rematch, I would say at that point he was the young pretender. He later went on to prove himself and establish himself, but at that specific point, he was the young pretender. That's just my view.
So your view. So let me just make sure.
Let's go around the table.
But I just want to make sure that I'm understanding you properly. In your view, Cassius Clay was a pretender after he beat Sonny Liston in the first fight.
No. I said he may have been perceived due to the suspicion of the first fight around the victory.
He wasn't liked. So they were going to look at any way to not give him the credibility.
Yeah. So
it's that simple. But if you're going to be objective, I think it'd be fair to say he was the champion.
He was a
But
champion.
but
But
Rafi,
at that point, he was viewed as the young
Rafi,
pretender.
my question is not what the perception of Cassius Clay was during that time.
Yeah.
My question is, what is your understanding,
Yeah.
right? Your
Yeah.
view of
Yeah.
Cassius
He was
Clay
a champ.
after
He was a
having
champ.
beaten
He
Sonny
was-
Liston in the
he
first
was-
fight.
He was the champion, and then because of what he did, he went on to be king. Okay, that's my view. Let's go around the table, John. You want to jump in?
Yeah, well, I mean, if we're going to, first of all, I don't believe anybody here is old enough to actually remember the time and the situation
Been
of what
born in.
people of what people actually thought when Cassius Clay beat Sonny Liston. So we cannot go back and look at that without the knowledge of everything else that he did.
I was just going by what my dad told me. My dad told me everyone hated Ali and they thought that it was a fluke.
No, they did. They did hate him, and there were huge question marks. I think right up until he beat Ernie Terrell, to be honest.
Yeah.
And we're looking at it coloured with the knowledge of what he went on to go and do.
Yeah.
And what he did go on to go and do is clean out the division twice, arguably. He cleaned it out in the 60s and he cleaned it out in the 70s.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So how can we be objective about his perception after his first victory as a heavyweight champion?
Well, even John, even if you are deemed the man, people are going to still look at certain guys that are coming up saying that this guy could beat you. Yeah. I mean, people will still question certain guys can beat the man.
My point to you, Beeb, is if you're going to look back in history, you should, and most historians do, attempt to understand what people thought at the time, rather than look back.
Exactly. I agree with that.
Of everything else that's happened since.
I agree with that.
I just think it was a bit of a leading question from the fight doctor to try and prove his point that you only need one victory to be considered the man.
Right.
Actually, Muhammad Ali is considered an all-time great because he cleared out the division twice.
Yes, but what you're attempting to do here is shift the goalposts. I didn't say anything. I did not say anything about Muhammad Ali's all-time great standing. That's a different question.
Hold on a second. I want to go.
Giving you my opinion as I was entitled to do, fight doctor.
Yes,
we know yours.
Yes, that's fair. It's very fair. It's very fair.
Yeah,
everybody.
That's how he feels. That's how he feels. I mean,
everybody has a right to express their opinion, and
that's
in comes the big boys boxing.
Yeah, I'm back. Sorry, my phone was playing up.
He's back. He's back with a vengeance. Okay, big boys boxing. Well, we're coming. You know, it's coming up to the hour. But what does it take to become king? What does it take to be? What do you need to do? What do you need to do to be acclaimed the king of your division?
Beat the best. I mean, I don't think you have to clean everybody out of the division, because if you've beaten people who have beaten several others that are inside a top 10, that kind of covers it at the same time. But
yeah,
I heard you talking about Liston and Ali. I don't care. I don't care about lineal anymore. It's irrelevant these days. So for me, I've got Usyk as number one at the moment. Simply because he did clean out an entire division. He beat the best in that, became undisputed. He's unbeaten at heavyweight, and he's beaten a guy who held the most belts in the division. But I wouldn't consider him the king until he beats Fury.
Right.
I wouldn't consider Fury the king until he beats Usyk. So for me, it's undetermined at the moment.
Yeah, because if he beats Fury, then that means that he's beaten Joshua and Fury. So that's two. That's two of the top five. That's two of the top five.
Okay, can I ask a question, Rafi?
Yeah.
Well, okay, this is where I get confused at the same. Okay, big boys boxing with the fight doctor. Why? Okay, Evander Holyfield, right? He was undisputed at a cruiserweight, and then when he came up heavyweight, he fought like mostly everybody. So why doesn't that apply? Why isn't that applicable to Usyk? I'm lost.
Well, that's why I'm saying it is. It is applicable to Usyk to me.
I think, you know, there is a large consensus that says Fury's the best heavyweight in the world. But until one of these guys has all 4 of the belts, that's the only way that there can be no dispute. I'm not a big undisputed guy. I'm more of the because I'm more of a guy fighting the best. And sometimes I just look at a guy and I watch him fight and I see who he's beat and I give him the eye test and I think he's the best fight. Like for me at welterweight, I think Terrence Crawford is the best welterweight right now. That's just my opinion based off the skills, right? But for some reason in the heavyweight division, fans want an undisputed champion in that division more so than any other division in the sport. I've noticed that. The fans don't care so much about the other divisions having undisputed. Everyone will have their opinion on who's the best. But for whatever reason, at heavyweight, everyone wants an undisputed champion, right? So I think the only way we're going to sort this out is until one person has all 4 belts. And then no one can say anything. So if Fury did have all 4 belts, would anyone on this panel question his reign, question his designation as the best fighter at heavyweight?
No. I think if he does that, then he's the best fighter at heavyweight.
Yeah.
And if he goes deeper, if he goes deeper, he earns the moniker of king. You know what I'm saying? All I'm saying is that there's some work to be done. There's some work to be done before anybody's crowned king.
Here's the problem with that argument. Those belts that are currently being held hostage by Usyk, they all belong to Tyson Fury because he held them first. And no one ever beat him for those belts in the ring. Those are facts.
He retired.
Like I said, he never lost those belts in the ring.
He retired.
Okay? Those are paper titles that Fury never lost in the ring.
Positive for Nandrolo.
He never fulfilled his championship obligations. That's why he lost the belts.
He would have been strict.
Positive for Nandrolo.
That's all fine and dandy. However, the fact remains that
you're using semantics.
No, these are facts. And the facts
are. So hold on a minute.
Tyson Fury never lost any of those belts in the ring. All of those belts.
Is it a fact that he tested positive for Nandrolo?
That has nothing to do with the price of tea in China or the topic at hand.
So it's okay for champs to cheat then.
I appreciate your attempt to throw a red herring into the mix, okay? But fact of the matter is this: Tyson Fury is the rightful owner of those belts that Usyk is currently wearing.
No, he isn't.
No, that is not fact.
He never lost those belts in the ring. He never lost those belts in the ring. That's a fact.
He never lost them in the ring. That's a fact. But they are not his, and that is a fact.
Yeah, the fact is, he tested positive.
You can't just freeze. You can't freeze those belts in time. You can't freeze the heavyweight division.
He cheated. He cheated, and he was stripped of his belt, and he was unable to fight for cheating. So I don't understand what the problem is.
We didn't even know if he was going to even come back. We thought he was gone for good.
Look. The fact is, he cheated, and he served his punishment. So that's fine. I have no problem with him boxing now. He accepted his punishment. The statement that he made was he accepted the retrospective 2-year ban. So trying to make out like the belts are still his is the most ludicrous thing I've ever heard in my life. Man cheated, and he had to pay it. He had to be punished for it. He accepted the punishment.
All right, once again, Anthony Joshua, chilling the contingent, wishes to misconstrue the facts. Now,
hold on. No.
Was Tyson Fury found guilty of cheating in the Vladimir Klitschko fight? Yes or no?
He shouldn't have been in the fight.
That wasn't the question, sir. That was not the question. The question is,
was
Tyson Fury found guilty of cheating in the Vladimir Klitschko fight? Yes or no?
Right with everything, and you're infallible fight doctor. As soon as you're going to ignore facts when it suits you and only talk about facts. The facts are, the rules are, right, he should have been suspended. He shouldn't have even fought Vladimir Klitschko. He should have been suspended.
Should have, could have, would have.
And anyway, fight doctor, you're wrong because he was stripped of the IBF. He was stripped of the IBF. He was he retired. He is not the owner of the belts. He got stripped. He got found guilty of drug PED use, and he accepted the guilt of
A retroactive ban, yeah.
retroactive ban, and he also retired. There's three things there. That's more than enough.
I'm sorry, sir, but there's a fourth thing that you forgot to mention.
Yeah.
Tyson Fury never lost those belts in the ring.
No, that's not the fourth thing. That's not the fourth
it
thing.
is.
Yeah, but
that's a fact.
That only applies to lineal, not these belts. Because if it was these belts, he would have got stripped. He got stripped to IBF first.
To be a champion, you have an obligation to defend those belts and follow the rules. And if you break the rules, then you're no longer champion. WBC has a morality clause in their rules. And if you break the morality clause, they'll strip you of the title. Just the way it is.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna let Big Boys Boxing come in because he's just come in. We're coming close to the 11th hour. So just shoot your shot, Big Boys Boxing. Shoot your shot.
Yeah, man. Well, Tyson doesn't own those belts, and that is a fact. Quote me on it.
Yeah.
Quote me on it, because he didn't fulfill his championship obligations. Simple as that. This is not lineal. Maybe Fight Doctors to talk about lineal. I know he thinks all the belts are all the way, so I can't see the opinion having any substance, to be honest. But you know, like I said, I see Usyk as number one just on his attributes and what he's done in his career in 2 divisions, not just one. I want to see them fight, but at the same time, I still want to see the mandatories get their shots. They have earned them, particularly Dillian White. He's been grinding for a long time. So I think Tyson should fight White next. Joshua's entitled to his rematch, and we can move on once those are done. We'll see what happens. But until then, I don't think we have a king.
Who's number 2, Big Boys?
Fury.
Who's 3?
White. I've got White has 3. 4. I've got Joshua. 5. I've got Ruiz, and 6. I've got Wilder.
Wow.
Just to give you an idea, he's just outside my top 5.
Damn. Okay. Hardcore. And okay, so that was the Big Boys Boxing's final words. Big Boys Boxing, much appreciation for jumping on.
Thanks for having me, boys.
Excellent. That was the Big Boys Boxing. He's got his own channel going on. Go and say hi. Okay. So, who we got left? The Lisa Bales. If you'd like to give us your final words, Lisa. Before you go, before you give your final words, everybody, if you have not hit that like button, please kindly do so. Hit the subscribe button. If you've not subscribed, please kindly do so. And feel free to share on all social media platforms. Thank you very much. Okay, Lisa Bayless. Your final words, please, Lisa. Lovely having you. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Rafi. This is new, this new format, so I'm used to the other one. But this is cool though. I like the look of it.
I like the look of it. I like the look of it too.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we just want the best fights. We want to see the best fight the best, and always forever will be a fan of boxing. I just want all of this mess. I'll be glad when this heavyweight crap is sorted out. Yeah. Who's ever the best is gonna be the best, and it is what it is, Just it's just
let the king emerge is what you're saying. Let the king emerge.
Yeah. And whoever it is, I give the guys they props anyway. Yeah.
100% Lisa Bayless. Thank you for coming over.
You're welcome.
Have a blessed day.
You too. Thanks for the panel for having me on.
100%, and that was the Lisa Bales. Much appreciation goes out to Lisa Bales. Okay, who we got left? The John D. Lee.
Well, I've got concern, and my concern is that Fury's going to get made franchise. I've got a real concern that
would be funny.
What was your concern, John? What was your concern?
Fury's going to be made franchise.
He's going to get baptized?
Franchise.
Oh, franchise. I'm sorry.
As far as I'm aware, he's already been baptized, and he's a good Catholic boy.
Been baptized many times in the
but anyway,
he's a good man, Fury.
I'm concerned that if Dillian White beats Otto Wallin in devastating fashion, which he might not do. I mean, I could see Otto winning that fight.
I'm picking Wallin.
I'm not saying that that's what's going to happen.
I'm picking him.
But either way, even if I don't know, I've got a concern they're going to elevate him to franchise champion, and there'll be no end to these politics. And we'll be in an even bigger match.
I'm afraid he may just retire. You never know with this guy.
Well, I don't like him deep, so I don't really care if he does.
I love him. I love him to death. I have two Tyson Fury T-shirts on my closet.
I know. But I first became aware of Tyson when he was 16 on Sky Sports, and I've watched his.
You've known him before me.
Yeah. I've watched him duck David Price. I've watched him duck Pulev. So he's got so much to do to regain my trust. I don't think he's got long enough left in his career to do so. But yeah, those are my final words, Raphael. I'm worried they're going to make him franchise. So hopefully that doesn't happen.
Dang.
Thanks for having me on. Good talking to you, Bebe.
Good talking to you, John. Nice seeing you.
Regards, and thanks a lot. Bye now.
Shout out to John.
Okay, and that was the John D. Lee. Okay, we're down to 3. Then it was down to the final 3. And let's have the final crazy mushroom-infused madness from the Fight Doctor. Go ahead, Fight Doctor. Come with your madness. Can I play with madness?
So I think that your logic deserves a gold medal.
Okay.
I like that.
Okay. I think that your logic deserves a gold medal because of the acrobatics.
I like
the way that it does backwards flips, and the way that it works on the high horse, and just all the way that it jumps through flaming hoops. Okay, it's just all over the place.
I'm very consistent.
Okay, well, and you certainly demonstrated that by the way that you approach the potential fight between Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, and the way that you're approaching the fight between Anthony Joshua and Alexander Usyk. Lots of consistency there. So I applaud you, sir. And that gold medal is on its way. Yes, it is.
Hey, I appreciate that. Those were the words of the mushroom-infused words of the Fight Doctor. The Fight Doctor, yeah? He never fails to bring the crazy. Okay, so let's stop sharing that. And it's down to 2. B. I've been very consistent. With I want to stop the music. The music's getting on my nerves now. I like it in and out sometimes. I've been very consistent throughout. I think I've demonstrated that here tonight.
Yeah, you articulated yourself very well. I have to say, tonight was one of your better nights. I think you've been listening to me long enough, and you've been picking up some of my intellect. So I can respect that. I think I'm rubbing off on you a little bit, but as much as I love Tyson Fury, I love him to death, but he's very volatile, and I'm actually a little bit afraid that he may just pack it in. That's what I'm concerned about. And I'm concerned that I'm concerned that if they order the Dillian White fight, he talks to his father a lot, and his father doesn't really want him to fight Dillian White because in his reasoning that he doesn't believe Dillian White is a worthy challenger, and he's afraid that Tyson may not get up for the challenge, right? which is kind of a lame excuse. I don't like that. I mean, you know, if you're the champion, you got to fight who you're supposed to. If you're asked to fight someone, you got to fight them.
So
You have to get. If you're the champion, you got to get up for that. You have to get up for every opponent. I don't care who it is, right?
Yeah.
So my concern is he may just walk away. You know, and I think that would suck if he did that at this time. I would like to see him fight Dillian White, and then get the winner of Usyk Joshua, and then if he wants to walk away, then walk away. Then walk away.
Then walk away. Walk away. Then. What do you? I mean, I think he walks away and he comes back. He walks away, comes back. He walks away. Comes back.
Sugar Ray Leonard used to do that all the time. Another one of my favorite fighters.
Yeah, that's the way he does it. If that's the way it's gonna go, that's the way it's gonna go. We can't control this thing. We just spectators. We just spectators, and we can't get too overly emotionally. We can't get emotionally distraught about it either, because we're just spectators. What's next? How bad is Deontay Wilder? Because I'm in a group. I'm in a group with a lot of trainers, and they're very. There's not many very many good words. There's not many very good words being said.
I'll say this: it's hard enough coming back from one bad beating, but two bad beatings back to back. Number one, and I've said this too. He's 36 years old, October 22nd. Okay. He's had a torn bicep tendon in his right arm, a torn bicep tendon in his left arm. He broke his hand before, broke it again on Saturday, which I predicted he was probably going to do because he used those MX gloves,
horsehair gloves.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of those horsehair gloves because they're not good protection for the hand. If you're a big puncher, you can break your hand on this, which he already did when last time he used them in 2016 against Chris Arreola. I said that was a bad idea. So he broke his hand twice, broke his wrist, has some issues with his forearm. The body's breaking down.
Yep.
So I hope he can come back and give us another performance like he did against Fury.
Yeah.
But I think that the chances are he may not be able to. And if you put a gun to my head and you ask me, will he ever be the same moving forward? I'm going to have to say no. Yeah. I've never seen someone come back from two bad beatings like that. Usually when someone suffers two bad losses in a row like that, they go downhill and they end up retiring shortly thereafter. So I don't think he's going to be the same.
It certainly couldn't have done him any good.
And Joshua, I thought in the last 4 rounds he was taking a lot of punishment in that fight too. And I think Joshua nowhere near to the extent that Wilder has.
Nowhere near that. Nowhere
near that. But he's pushing the envelope a little bit right now too. He may have both of those guys may have about 3 or 4 left in them. No, Joshua probably has 3 or 4 left in him. Deontay Wilder may have 1 or 2.
1 or 2
fights left in them.
Joshua's only got 3 or 4. I think Joshua's got 3 or 4 years. I think Joshua's got 3 or 4 years.
I kind of have a feeling Joshua may retire in about 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, 2 or 3 years. I agree with that too. Well, that'd be good. That'd be good.
Which is about 3 or 4 fights.
No. It's 2 fights a year.
Okay.
So that's 6 fights.
Well, okay, maybe 3 or 4 more fights, like I said. I don't know. Maybe 2 years left then.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Maybe 2 years.
I think he's got 4. I think he's got 4 good years. I think he's got 4 good years.
Well, what if he loses? What if he loses his next fight against Usyk and he takes more punishment in that fight? What do you think happens?
Then
I'll tell you what I think is going to happen. This is what I'm going to tell you. I think is going to happen. I think Joshua's going to lose to Usyk.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I think Wilder and Joshua will end up fighting for nothing. They'll just have a fight. No titles on the line.
I don't think so. I think Joshua beats Usyk and then fights whoever the WBC guys, Dillian White, because Fury either retired or
You think Fury will fight Usyk next? I mean, not Usyk. White next?
No, I think I think it's 50-50 whether he fights White or retires.
Yeah, I'm not confident that he's going to fight White next. I'm not confident.
Yeah, I'm not confident. I think
I have to be honest. I hope he does. I'm not 100% confident he will. I'm questionable on that.
Yeah. It's 50-50 for me whether he retires.
Never
I'm very
know what this guy's going to do.
I'm very concerned about Wilder.
I am too. I'm not sure. I would say give him 1 or 2 more fights. Give him an easy fight next.
Definitely.
And see how he looks, because he looked very damaged. Very damaged.
Now, what's your stance on the view that Wilder lost to the number 1 guy, so therefore he beats everybody else?
I'm kind of backtracking on that. I said to myself that I think Wilder would beat Joshua, but that Wilder that fought last Saturday, I think would have beaten Joshua, but I don't think this Wilder can be that Wilder that he showed on Saturday. I think he left a lot of himself in the ring that night. I really do.
Yeah.
I really think the guy has, and this may sound horrible to say, I really think he does have some anxiety and psychological issues.
I think that was anxiety that made him gas out. Part of the reason why
I do. Did you see? If you go back and watch my live stream, when he got in the ring, I said he doesn't look right again. Something is wrong with him.
I think I said the same thing on my live.
Did
stream.
you? Okay.
Let
me tell you something else, Ralph, and tell me what your thoughts are on this.
Yeah.
Because people have a way of projecting, right?
Yeah.
How many times during the press conference and during interviews did he say, well, I'm calm.
Yeah.
He's got a lot of nervous energy. So I'm sitting there saying to myself, you have to keep, like, when someone tells me, if they say, well, you can trust me. You can trust me. I don't trust them when they keep telling me that, because I'm saying, why do you have to keep telling me? So it's almost like he was projecting. Maybe he was the one who wasn't calm, but he was trying to get calm. Maybe that's where the delay came from. Before now there's a delay. It took him some time to get it in the ring. Yeah. Maybe he was going through some anxiety issues.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think he was going through some anxiety issues. I even wonder about self-sabotage. I even wonder whether he thought to himself, I can't beat this guy in the first round. I'm just gonna go hell for leather, absolute hell for leather. You should have put a sustained work in over the first 6 rounds. That's what everybody recommended. But you put almost everything. You emptied the tank in the first round. He emptied the tank in the first round.
That's another thing I said. I'm saying to myself, why is he stepping so hard with that jab and right hand to the stomach that early on, and why is he just throwing body shots? And then then toward the end, when he did go to the head, what did he do? He started throwing haymaker right hands upstairs instead of straight right hands. But I will say that right hand that he did land on Fury was a beautiful one, beautiful short right hand.
Yeah,
that was picture perfect. But those are far and few between.
Few and far between. Because I was just gonna say there was another sequence in the fight where Fury was standing in front of him, and I think he threw 10 hooks, and I think 3 landed, and Fury was right there. He was right there in front of him. He could have been standing there with his hands behind his back. He was so wild with his shots.
He has one of the, and I don't like sounding derogatory towards fighters, but he has one of the worst left hooks I've ever seen in my life. Ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
So
that's crazy, man. Yeah. But I don't know. Hopefully, I don't know. I hope for the guy. I wish the guy well for his health. But this foolishness about going out, I want to die in the ring and all that stuff.
No, I'm not with that.
I'm not with that. I'm not with that foolishness, and you shouldn't wish that. You shouldn't wish that on yourself either. Because that was a beating. That was a sustained beating.
And I don't want to ever hear people say, "Well, that's their choice." Blah blah blah. Well, if that's the case, then why is there a referee? Why is there fucking rules? Why are there? Excuse my language. Why is there rounds? Why is there a time limit on the fight? Why not just take the gloves off and have both guys fight to the death? It gets to a point where it's no longer humane. Okay, we know it's a violent sport, but we have to make it humane too. we shouldn't want someone to die in the ring for our pleasure. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't care what the fighter tells me as a trainer. I am not going to let you die in the ring because I would be failing myself as a trainer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here to not only help you, but I'm here to protect you from yourself.
100%, 100%. So I don't know. We just have to see what goes on. Hopefully Wilder makes some healthy choices. Fury goes on. Hopefully Fury goes on to fight Dillian White. And hopefully Joshua goes on to beat Usyk, and then we can get Joshua versus Fury for Undisputed. Beep, it's been a pleasure having you.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, man.
Talk to you soon. Take care, buddy. Take
Be
care.
good.
Okay, and that was the Beeb from the Ringside Reporter. Very gracious of him to come on. You know what I'm saying? Unfortunately, the other guy didn't come, but hey, I can't twist people's arms. Can't do it. That's not the Rafi's way. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Yeah, it should really have been stopped. Okay, so thank you. Thank you very much for the Clark Kent or the Clark S, who was the sponsor of the show. So thank you to Clark S or Kent S, and thank you to everybody who took the time out of their day to jump on the panel. There were many of them, so I'm not going to name them in case I forget one of them. Okay, you know who they were. Okay, so as a matter of fact, I can do some wizardry. Let me do some wizardry, and I can see. I'll be able to see a lot of people who was here. Okay, so we had the Fight Doctor, who came with his own inimitable style, the John D. Lee. Much appreciation to him. Of course, the Beeb, you just saw, the Lisa Bales, and the Big Boys Boxing. And I hope I didn't miss anybody. Dame. I don't think we even did a poll. We didn't even do a poll. How remiss of me. Okay. Well, maybe next time. Okay. And of course, thank you to everybody who came in, who joined us in the chat. I hope you've all enjoyed the show. I hope you'll all smash that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that share button to let everybody know about the good times and the bad times over here at the Raphael Dawkins Combat Radio. It's been a great show. Peace, everyone. Great show, says Lisa Bayliss, Philip Carl Roberts, and everybody else. Okay, it's been a good one. It's been a great one. Look out for the videos. Look out for the live shows. Hit that bell icon to stay updated with news and notifications. It's the Raphael Dawkins. It's the Combat Radio. And we are out. Blessed.